Hello, welcome, and I just got these in the mail. They were from the company Data Discs. They're a new vinyl producing company out of the United Kingdom, I believe. And yeah, I just got these in the mail. I'm a big vinyl collector, so as soon as I heard these were coming out, being a big game collector now, again, I had to pick these up. Actually, before game collecting, I got back into game collecting probably 3 years ago or so. I was really into vinyl collecting for years and absolutely loved it and spent way too much money in that hobby. So as soon as I heard about these, I had to jump on them. I pre-ordered them as soon as I possibly could, and they should be both the limited edition pressings, so the colored ones. So yeah, let's go ahead, and I've already opened them up a little bit, just so if you ever buy new vinyl, you want to just open them up just a tiny bit, just to get the record out. Unless it's a gatefold one, then you just take the whole thing off. Otherwise, that's probably the best way to do it. And then you can buy sleeves for these later, no problem. Record collecting now is very popular, so buying an actual protective sleeve for these is no issue whatsoever anymore. But yeah, so let's go ahead and do it. Okay. Sorry, I just had to get this out. Oh, and I also wanted to show one thing. That's slightly textured. It's slightly, see if I can focus this. Yeah, so it's slightly, yeah, it's got a little bit of a shiny surface. The kanji characters of Shenmue, so it looks really nice. And this, I see this is very, very nice as well. Very, very nice. I forget the exact dimensions of a record, but it's pretty much the exact size of a record. This little sheet of paper here. This is beautiful. You could frame this by itself, which is great. Which I highly recommend anybody who gets these actually play them and not just frame them for eternity. I recommend to actually play these. Records are meant for playing. I do have a few records framed, but you know, it's because I've already listened to them plenty, or they're very common, or whatnot. You know, just almost every single one of my records, I try to play as much as I can. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and I might have to pause this for a second. No, I'll just work this through. Okay. I need to get a better setup here. 1 second. Oh, okay, sorry. So here we go. So yeah, very much different than what they showed on the picture. This is not a foolproof process of how they do this. So yeah, this is pretty much, they're all going to look a little different. The way they put the dye in here, and I can see. Yeah, it was just kind of put on here. I'm not sure what that white is about. I think that might be part of it. I'm gonna definitely play it and make sure that that's actually part of the inside of it. It looks like it might actually be. I don't know. I have other records that were done in this manner. But this is the first time I've seen something quite like this. That might actually just be residue. And I have a D-static gun that they don't really sell too much anymore. I'm going to try that on it and see if that's actually lint or whatnot. Okay. Alright, yeah, and the other side, yeah, looks kind of about the same. You know, side A and side B. So this is the Streets of Rage 1 soundtrack. And that's the Shenmue soundtrack. So Streets of Rage 1, let's pull this out and see what it looks like. Wow, so this looks really nice as well. So yeah, this is about the size of a record. Yeah, came with 2 of these, it looks like. Yeah, so this is very nice. This might be what the cover was for the Bare Knuckle game. This game is called Bare Knuckle in Japan. And this might have been what the cover was in Japan, I'm not sure. I actually played Streets of Rage 2 and 3. Those are the two I have growing up. I didn't play too much. I didn't even really know too much about Streets of Rage 1 when I was a kid. Yeah, so these look really nice. I saw some people actually got like little trading cards with this. I don't believe I got anything like that. I don't know if I would have done with trading cards anyway. So, but yeah, let's see what this looks like. This one I'm anticipating is going to look even cooler because I like red and black. So let's take a look at it here. Oh wow, yep. Okay. Yeah, so I was right. Yeah, so this looks much better. Much better. Yeah. So this is the Streets of Rage 1 soundtrack. And yeah, this looks great. Okay. I'm not too sure what that little black edge is around the side. I guess it's just part of the sticker. I don't even know if it needed that sticker. I think I'm done without it. I just made it all red. I don't know. But, yep. So that's it. And I'll try to play them for you guys, too. See how they sound. It'd be awesome. That sounds very nice. This record. Now, I still need to replace a lot of the capacitors in here because they're like over 50 years old now. But I replaced the needle recently, so that's good. That's got no problems. Capacitors need to be changed, and also I need to spray some control cleaner back here. Take the whole chassis out so I can do that, because right now if I try to adjust the bass, treble, loudness, tuning or anything, you're hearing a loud popping noise. Or it's not going to work too great. Or it might well. There we go. Sounds very nice. Already sounds better than the actual game, in my opinion. I guess being a vinyl enthusiast, maybe I'm biased, but I don't know. This is how music and everything was meant to sound, in my opinion. Highly recommend it. Pick up a record player and also pick up one of these records from Data Discs. And actually I did get those trading cards I spoke of. And they're pretty cool too. Yeah, here they are. Streets of Rage characters. Original Streets of Rage characters. Very nice. And I'll play here the Streets of Rage vinyl here in just a few moments. Shenmue, that's probably my favorite video game soundtrack. Streets of Rage is a close second. If not, maybe it's just a whole different genre I can't really compare. But we'll listen to that. There's my other record player, and my other one is in the other room. Probably some of the inserts I'll actually put in place in one of my album frames here. Maybe Sabbath and, I don't know, that'll be a tough one. I actually have more of them, I took a few of them down. Maybe I'll put one of those up. Yep. Alright, now let's listen to the Streets of Rage vinyl. Okay. I'll try to drop this needle as gently as I possibly can because the automatic feature isn't working on it right now. I'm going to do very gently. That's not the record. That's this very old record player. I still need to fix some of the knobs here. You won't hear any of that static, I promise. That's my record player. I have two other ones that work perfectly fine, but I really like this console. Oh man, it's so badass. Yeah, this thing is from the mid-60s, so playing the Streets of Rage vinyl on a mid-60s record player is just... There's the nerd in me, just the nerd and... I don't know if you'd say hipster, I don't know. The nerd and nostalgic vintage guy that I am, I really appreciate that. Another one of my favorite things to play on this old record player, for kind of that old, you know, like history, kind of nostalgic, kind of vintage stuff, is I have the original recordings of the War of the Worlds, when they were reading it on the air and tricking out people across the country to think they were actually under attack by aliens. They actually recorded that broadcast for vinyl, and I bought it at Half Price Books a while back for pretty damn cheap. Or no, it was a local record store called Vinyl Edge for very, very cheap. And yeah, playing that on here is probably just like, man, I wonder if this record player was listening to that live at one point. Maybe not. I'd have to check the dates again on when that broadcast actually was. But I don't know. It still was pretty cool to listen to that on here. Yeah, so the sound quality is very crisp and clear. Even though everything about this thing is really old except the needle, yeah, it still sounds really good. Man, it sounds badass, actually. Man, even if you guys don't like video game music, I highly advise picking up these records. It's really good music. I mean, if you're a DJ, I don't know how you don't sample Streets of Rage like every night. That would be like my whole club. I would probably call my club. I would call my club Streets of Rage. Yep. I probably would, and then I would get sued by Sega. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe Sega would be cool with it, because another cool thing about these vinyls is that they're actually fully endorsed or fully licensed by Sega. See if I can find that here. Let me see. It says it's somewhere on here. Anyway, Sega's down there in the copyright symbol. I swear I read that earlier, that it was under full licensed by Sega. Yeah, Sega Archives. 180 gram vinyl, which is what you want. You want your vinyls to be 180 grams. So they don't warp as easy, and the sound is slightly better. That's kind of debatable. I've read different stuff saying that's not true, but I think it really depends on how the vinyl is made. I think it could be really thick, and it could be a bad sounding vinyl. It depends on how deep they made the grooves for the needle to go into. But generally, if it's 180 grams, it's most likely going to be fine. Whenever you get less than that, it's usually because they're older vinyls, and they were just trying to pump them out as quickly as possible. Now, like with vinyls, they don't really cut corners too much, because there's only so many people that there's only so many record vinyl making plants in the country, and yeah, they all pretty much do good stuff, with the exception of maybe the stuff Hot Topic gets. They're not always using the same good stuff. But I don't know. I mean, that's just from what I've heard. You know, with some newer bands, you know, if you find the older bands, usually they're pretty good too. So yeah, that's Streets of Rage 1. I still need to buy that game. I have Streets of Rage 2 and 3. Streets of Rage 2 might be my favorite Genesis game of all time, along with Streets of Rage 3. Streets of Rage 1 I've been playing a lot in the 3DS and play on my Mega Everdrive and stuff, but I'll get it eventually. It's a cheap game. Shenmue. Yeah, awesome game. Goes great with my, I got my Japanese Shenmue game right there that I got recently, because I'm going to try to learn a little bit of Japanese. So I was thinking like, hey, I beat this game multiple times, I'll try to beat it in Japanese and learn Japanese at the same time. So, oh, and here's my first copy I got when it first came out. So, Shenmue, and just show Streets of Rage. I got Mega Man Wily Wars. It'll be a review for another day. Yeah. 2 and 3 Streets of Rage, right there. That 2, that's actually what came with our Sega Genesis. My brother and I's Sega Genesis. It says not for resale on it and stuff. And Streets of Rage 3, of course we had to get it when we were kids, so that's complete. So I'll go great with that. And yeah, red and black. That's another reason why I love the Sega Genesis. Red and black all the way. So, which is awesome. The hint of yellow some areas, which is awesome. And blue and white is also great too. I don't know, I just love all things Sega. So, oh man, that's the song. Like it says Streets of Rage 1, but like all these songs were like pretty much used again for Streets of Rage 2. So I know all these songs too. They're like slight little changes to the Streets of Rage 2 between Streets of Rage 1 and the music, but I mean it's really slight, at least for the main tracks. There might be plus or minus a few other tracks, but the main tracks are still there. Kind of like Sonic, I guess. Alright, well thanks a lot guys, and let me know, do you guys like collecting vinyl records? Do you have any record players you guys have been using for them? If so, what are those? And do you plan on picking these up, or do you already have them? Or you already ordered them? These just showed up randomly at my doorstep today. I didn't get a tracking number or anything, so it was a surprise to me. Yeah, so if you guys are waiting on them, just let me know. Let me know whenever you get them. Let me know what you think of them. Yeah, because I'm sure loving them right now. So, alright guys, I guess my closing thoughts is, if you don't have a record player and you plan on getting these, or you already ordered them, please just pick up any record player and listen to them. Like, that's also a record player, and that's actually one you can get right now. I got it as a gift. I'm pretty sure it came from Kohl's. I got stuff on top of it, but it lifts up, and that's a record player, and a CD recorder as well. And yeah, and it's actually also a tape player, although the tape player isn't that great because there's no freaking rewind button. So the only way to rewind the tape is to flip it over and press play, which is ridiculous. So buy it only for the CD recording aspect, or CDR recording aspect, or the the radio, which is pretty cool, or the record player. Don't buy it for the tape player. If you're planning on listening to tapes with this thing, yeah, look for something else, because there's no freaking rewind feature for that. And yeah, here's some more of my records. Orphan Land, you guys probably don't know them. Mastodon. So here's the one record I actually have framed at the moment. That's just Led Zeppelin 4, just kind of framed, outstretched, and I have the actual vinyls down there so I can listen to them. Blood Mountain I've listened to a billion times on CD, and this record cost me like $15, so I was like, alright, I'm just gonna frame it. I listened to it a few times before I framed it though. But with a record like this, it's mostly for display when you see something like that. But I already listened to this album like 2 million times already on CD. So I mean, to each their own. You can frame it if you want. It's up to you. I'll just advise, you might want to listen to it because it's really good music. Yeah, and oh, if you want to, find a spot and to put all your records at, I got this, cheap, really cheap shelf at Target. Just like almost no tools involved to create it. Maybe just a hammer or something and a screwdriver. Yeah, and it holds them really good. I can't put really too much more than this, but it holds pretty good. Yeah, let me know if you guys want to see more of my record collecting. I don't know how many of you guys really care about this stuff, but I can go over that more if you guys care. King Crimson, it's been in my family for over 40 years. It actually has my dad's
last name, or my last name, but my dad wrote his last name Rig. Because my last name's Rigney. He wrote last name Rig on the back of it. Otherwise, I would have it framed completely, but it says Rig on the side. So it's not just our generation that didn't care about artwork. Back then they would throw their names across whole album artwork and think that's a good idea. Hopefully now kids, when they see this stuff, they don't throw their permanent marker names on stuff anymore. But otherwise, I would have had it fully, embossed out, because this artwork keeps going. But it looks amazing just like that too. So that's a great album, King Crimson, 21st Century Schizoid Man. Or no, that's just one of the best songs on it. It's actually In the Courts of the Crimson King. So that's King Crimson with their album In Courts of the Crimson King. Might be one of my favorite King Crimson albums, but it's really good. Highly advise it. Check it out. So yeah. Thanks for watching. Peace.